Steeler Nation, what is going on? I know it took me a while to put this video out. I got the reason I didn't put it out is because I got a new Xbox Series X and I've been playing it nonstop. But yeah, I'm here with the post game finally. But also to talk about the deadline. Um, this was a really good game by the Steelers coming in versus the number one team, best team in the and honestly in the league right now, against the Indianapolis Colts, and we come in and play like we did, which was honestly, I don't know if some people noticed, but the Steelers actually played 4-3 defense. Yes, you heard that correctly. 4-3 defense. They played the 4-3 defensive scheme, and it works. It works. Um, this was something that fans like myself have been wanting for a long time to happen, and seeing it actually, them change the defensive scheme to a 4-3, and also Jalen Ramsey being at safety. I love seeing that. I love his demeanor. I love his intention on plays, going up and hitting somebody. Which of course, hitting shoulder pad to helmet is illegal now. Which it, I will always sit here and say that that's a clean hit because it is. It's not a dirty hit. Um, if it was helmet to helmet, I would understand, but it wasn't helmet to helmet. It was leading with his shoulder, and Pittman ultimately paid the price on that with that hit. This defense played really good. What, 6 takeaways on, and I believe 3-4 sacks. Not bad, not bad at all. Especially how the secondary played very well. They played in rhythm, and when you have the team playing in rhythm like that, this team can win and make a deep run. Uh, I believe the one play I didn't like was Romen Wilson doing the hurdle for no reason. That was a boneheaded move. I understand people's frustration toward him and being mad at him, but I also understand that he is a young player and he learns from this. I know a lot of you guys think that just because he's been in the league that and he hasn't taken snaps, he should already know better. Let's keep in mind, he's done this before. The last time he did this, nobody had anything to complain about. The only reason that somebody complained about Romen Wilson making that hurdle was because of that fumble, which results in people being mad at him. If he didn't fumble that ball, nobody would have anything to say towards him. Tell me I'm wrong. Nobody would have anything to say against him. It was a boneheaded move because of the fumble, not because of the play, not the decision that he did. It got called a boneheaded play because of the fumble. If he didn't fumble that, nobody will be talking about it. I'm not wrong. But in my own opinion, and this is just my opinion, that you guys have your own opinion. Um, I think Roman Wilson can be a number two in the league. I really do. You know, if he works out these mishaps that he does, he can be a number two. I mean, you have guys who can be number two. Calvin Austin has proven time and time again that he can be a number two. He steps up. Now, I'd much rather put him in the slot because that's literally his play style. He runs like a slot receiver. Roman Wilson, put him at the number two spot eventually because I think that he will get a chance to prove himself again. For instance, people thought Caleb Johnson was going to be in the doghouse for a very long time. Look how long that lasted. It didn't last very long before he was back out on the field. So I'm looking at this for him as a learning curve. You know, what can we what can we do to what he can do to get better? What can he work on to get better? We all know he's got good hands. That's not a problem with Roman Wilson. It's just on that play he fumbled. And honestly, to me, it was very shocking because he does not fumble very often. And in all honesty, he could have kind of gave himself up there because he more than likely wasn't going to get it first, and if he was, it was going to be extremely close. So he pretty much said, fuck it, I'm going to hurdle this dude. And he did. I mean, he hurdled the fuck out of him until he got knocked and flipped. And that's when the defender went out. The defender just made a great move. You know, up until that point, there's not much that Roman Wilson can do when he's upside down in the air and the defender times the punch just right or the hit to knock the ball free. Again, if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't fumble, nobody's talking about that. Now, while I understand why a lot of people are upset that we didn't get, for instance, a wide receiver two, that we got Valdez-Scantling. We need a wide receiver two to go on a Super Bowl run. I agree. But I'm also not going to sit here and say that treating these guys like they're useless on a football field is the worst thing or is going to help. Because these guys want to prove themselves. They do. You all just got to understand it takes time. Development doesn't happen overnight. They don't become a superstar overnight. And that's another reason why I believe Roman Wilson can be a star in this league. Because he shows the ability to be a star. He's not afraid to take the risk. I know it was an unnecessary risk to take, but in all honesty, if he doesn't get flipped right there, you're looking at a first down. I mean, that would have been a whole new set of downs if the defender didn't knock the ball away. In fact, if the defender didn't knock the ball out of his hands at that point, it was going to be a first down. I've seen this all before, guys. I know how this works. I don't go into these games being stupid about it. Just looking at the negative side of one singular play. Also, to put it frank, Rodgers believing that this group can, that he likes this group that he's running with now, is probably another reason why the Steelers didn't go full in on a receiver at the trade deadline. Because they care about his word. If he says that, then that's what they're going to roll with. Do I want a true wide receiver two? Yes. Was that going to happen? I went into it saying no, because I figured we weren't going to get anything. Because again, they want as much capital as possible to, or even as much as they can get to move up to get a quarterback in the draft. Like it or not, that's exactly what they're going to do. There is going to be a new quarterback in Pittsburgh come April of 2026. And it's literally in Pittsburgh. So, in my mind, yeah, do you want to see more out of this team when it comes to the trade deadline? Of course. Of course you do. I do too. But it's not the end of the world. It's not. It really isn't. You know, the only reason we're in this position is because we traded away Pickens in the offseason. Or, yeah, in the offseason during the draft or after the draft. Pickens was never going to be here long term. He crashed out too much. He was always late for games. He was always late for practice. That is not a football mentality. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are on the field. I don't care about your fucking talent on the field at that point. You can be a good player and, in full honesty, be a freaking drama queen. And even times where, and to keep in mind, the times we did give Pickens the ball, some of those times, which people don't talk about anymore, is the fact that he would drop the ball when he is considered a aggressive wide receiver in the catching aspect. He didn't drop too many, but also I'm going to point out another thing. His tendency to take a full step of stretching his foot out and stepping out of bounds. There's another one. So, what more do you want? I get it, he didn't have the best QBs to work with, but if he really wanted to be here, he would have waited, and they would have waited. They more than likely were going to trade Pickens anyway. And I'll sit here and say this: I don't care who the hell you are. The fact that they got a third or fourth round pick out of him is a blessing in disguise, because the fact that the Cowboys gave up that much for him is a blessing because of his attitude problems. But anyway, besides that, yeah, we didn't do anything at the trade deadline. It was slow, but let me put it in a business aspect of this. And this is how I always look at things. People look at this like it's a game of Madden instead of actual business, thinking you can give up all these, like a huge amount, to get somebody, which we could have. But let's say, for instance, what if there's another good player in the draft at that spot? Then you gave up that pick for a player that you didn't think was going to fall, but did fall. And in all honesty, that that's the truth. That's the truth about it. But anyway, besides that, yeah, hell of a game. Uh, we came out, we looked like actual Steelers football. Let's put it that way. We looked like the actual Pittsburgh Steelers. We switched up on defense with the 4-3. We went from the 3-4 to the 4-3, and Peyton Wilson played better. Patrick Queen, I know he didn't have, the blitzing that you like, but he had a decent game, especially on one play. If Daniel Jones didn't get the ball out in time, you were probably looking at a Patrick Queen sack. He was coming around the edge and was going to get Daniel Jones. He was going to sack him if he did not get that ball out. That was going to be a sack. You had T.J. Watt doing what we expect out of T.J. Watt. He stripped the ball, recovered it. Then you had a strip fumble by Alex Highsmith, and he had a sack or two in this game. The whole D line just pressured. You had a bat down or a batted pass by Peyton Wilson that went perfectly right over to Jack Sawyer, and interception on the play. Oh yeah, and this the punt down the field and the Colts bobble it. In all honesty, that should have been a live ball picked up and took taken for a touchdown, but it was ruled dead. But yeah, just a solid game. And what about Jalen Ramsey, man? Jalen Ramsey had himself a good game at safety, man. He was wanting to knock the hell out of everybody. And I'm glad that they're putting him there, switching him to safety, because that's where he needs to be. And also I'm hoping that we do get Asante Samuel, because that'll be another young corner. You can put right into his natural position, which is the slot. The slot. And have him do his thing. He's still very young. I know he's coming off of a neck injury. Yeah, I think he could help this defense, and he'd be a young piece. And having him on this team with JPJ, Brandon Eccles, Jalen Ramsey, who else? Darius Slay would be good. It would be good. You already got Kyle Duggar at the strong safety position, which he played a pretty decent game. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. The Steelers came out and took care of business. Didn't do much at the trade deadline. Got Marcus Valdez-Scantling. That was our big move, but I'll also be keeping an eye on the Asante Samuel situation. And if we get him, I'll make a video about it. But with that being said, I will see you guys. I believe the Steelers game is going to be on CBS. I think I'll see you guys Sunday for the Steelers and Chargers game. And hopefully we come out with the same energy. Come out with that same energy every freaking time. If you want to be a Super Bowl contender, this is how you do it. You got to play this caliber of football. And only giving up those garbage time points was big, and that's all it was. It was garbage time points. The Colts, they lost at that point. So I wasn't too mad. I wasn't mad at all about the giving up the points there. You don't like giving up points, but if it doesn't matter anymore, yeah. But yeah, again, like I said, I'll see y'all Sunday. And I'm out. Here we go, Steelers. I'm out. Peace.